Hello everybody, it's Vinyl Rich here with Vinyl Finds 80 whatever. Got all 60s vinyl finds, and for the most part all really good albums. We're going to start it off with one that Deadwack 66 showed, I believe, in his last video, The Beat of the Earth. It's a Southern California band. I think this is their only album that they made, and I think only 500 were pressed. So, I mean, people that don't believe in getting reissues, well, you're never going to get this album then. I think there's one on eBay, or was it Discogs, for $7,000. I think I'll go with the reissue. Sounds great. It's basically a long jam. I think it's 2 songs. This is fantastic psych. This is the kind of all psych heads. I highly recommend this. Metal Theologian. This is the kind of psych you would really dig. I mean, if you like Amon Düül, not Amon Düül 2, but Amon Düül, you'll dig this kind of stuff. It's the singer sounds a little like Jim Morrison, or he's trying to, but it really isn't annoying because the vocals are not mixed way up in the front. They're kind of mixed back into the mix a little bit. But yeah, this is fantastic. It's just a trippy ass jam is basically what it is. They're from Orange County, Southern California, but I highly recommend this to all the psych heads. Deadwack 66, he went into a little history of it, and it's on these really plain white labels. This is a reissue. This is their only album they released, The Beat of the Earth, and I believe there was only 500 copies made, and I think you can get one on eBay, an original, or is it Discogs, for $7,000 if you don't want a reissue. You know, I know how some people, they don't like reissues. This next one, the Electric Prunes, Stockholm 67. This originally came out in the 90s with a different cover. This is a 2012 version. This album is fantastic. Really cool shot of on the back. It's much heavier than their studio albums. This was recorded, recorded by the Swedish Broadcasting Company Corporation at the Concert Hall in Stockholm, Sweden, December 14th, 1967. Apparently they asked if they would mind them recording them, and they said no. When they saw the equipment, the TV studios were notorious for really not recording and engineering rock music back in the 60s very well. But they recorded it anyways, and thank God they did. This is fantastic. Anybody that likes the first 2 Electric Prunes albums, this is a must. Like I said, it's much heavier, really great psych. Really cool album. I mean, I highly recommend it. And it's on Central Park, just plain black labels. This next one here, Strange Days by The Doors, came out in 67. This is the Rhino reissue, another reissue. This is a Record Store Day. I picked it up for $17. I don't know what it was selling for on Record Store Day, but like I've said before, if you wait, you can get a lot of these Record Store Day records for a decent price. People think, oh, the Record Store Day ones, they all go up in value. In reality, very few go up in value. A small minority do. If you buy them online, yeah, you can pay an arm and a leg. But anyways, the reason I picked this up, there's a VC member, Tony C. I would like to give a shout out to. He does not make videos, but he does comment, I believe, on almost all mine. And I see his comments on a lot of the other videos that I watch. And I just wanted to make the comment that, you know, we tend to give shout outs to other people that make videos, but the VC isn't just about the people that make videos. There's a lot of people, if it was, we'd probably get 30 views, you know. There's a lot of people out there that have channels, they don't make content, but they have very constructive, very great comments, and they're part of the VC, and I want to give a shout out to Tony C. Now that said, the trolls tend to be people that have VC channels with no content also. But you got to take the good with the bad. Anyways, he made the comment when on my my favorite 60s psych albums video. He made the comment, what, no Doors? And it kind of threw me back. I only had one Doors album, Morrison Hotel, and I never really thought of the Doors as a psych band, honestly. I thought of them more as a rocking, you know, band. And he told me about this album. He picked it up really cheap on eBay, and I looked it up, and I saw a copy for $60, and I got this one, brand new, sealed, for $17, like I said. Strange Days, this is a psych classic. I mean, back in the day when I was a kid growing up, this was not one of my favorite Doors albums, but this is fantastic. In fact, if I had this album when I made that video, my favorite 60s psych albums, it would probably be maybe number 3 or 4. You know, it would be that high up there, right behind the Beatles. What was it? Pink Floyd and Jimi Hendrix. It's right up there. Now, us psych heads and people that really like 60s psych, Syd Barrett and Rocky Erickson are both great, and we kind of tend to put them up on a pedestal, but in all reality, they pale in comparison to Jim Morrison or John Lennon. I mean, if you look at the whole body of work, John Lennon and Jim Morrison, they produced a lot of musical content. And listening to this album and realizing this was not one of my favorites, I'm going to revisit all their albums. I don't really think they made a bad album. What is it? The Soft Parade. It's a little bit different, but it has some really great songs on it. And I've gotten to the point where I'm reevaluating the Doors to the extent that they actually might be one of my top 5 bands from the 60s. I believe they might knock out Jefferson Airplane out of that number 5 spot. But anyways, great album. Came with the inner sleeve, the original inner sleeve. Great shot right there, man. You know, that is a great shot. That would have made a great album cover. And it's on the Elektra looking label, the original label. That's cool. Reissue on Rhino Records. Very, I believe it's 180 gram. I don't know if that really makes a big difference. Okay, this is the 4th one, I believe. This one is Bo Grumpus. Before the War. This came out in '68. This is a really good psych album. First song, Sparrow Tune. Man, it starts this album out on a great note. Then you got Think Twice. It has a great piano part, great guitars. I mean, side 1 does end with a Wanker Paul song. But overall, side 1 is really good. Now, the problem with a lot of psych albums that I've found since, you know, buying, it's almost 3 years since I started buying albums again, is a lot of the psych isn't really consistent. The side 1 might be great, side 2 sucks. So I was going, man, how are they? Is it gonna hold up? I would say side 2 isn't as good as side 1, but it's not bad. It is good. Now there are some people that probably think, oh, side 2 is a much better side. You know, those are probably the same people that think the Paul songs are the ones that make Revolver, you know? You know who all Paul fans, don't get upset with me. I'm just taking the piss out of one of my viewers. He'll know who I'm talking about. Anyways, Felix Pappalardi is on this album. He plays keyboards, trumpet, bass, percussion. Really good album. Way better than average. 4-star out of 5. I don't know. There's the Atco sleeve, and it's, I don't know why I show. It's on that original Atco label. Very pretty colors. This next one is a band that I wasn't really aware of until quite recently. Somebody showed a 45 that was a reissue, and I don't want to say who, because man, I keep naming the same people over and over, and people are going to get tired of that crap. But anyways, it's the Masters Apprentice. This is the Hands of Time. This is a comp of all their singles from 66 to 72. It's an 80s comp. They had a lot of pretty cool, pretty good in-depth comments about each song. Has a list of all their singles, LPs, EPs, and albums. Here's a little 60s chart. Anybody back from the 60s? Back in Bakersfield, it was Kafy, K-A-F-Y. Top 100 or top 50, whatever. They changed a lot of members. Jim Keys was the only constant member. He was the vocalist. But the last two songs on side 2... and all of the last two songs on side 1 and all of side 2 have the same lineup. So that was the most steadiest lineup. Probably late, it was like 69 to the 72 lineup. This album consists of, it's got a beat, that British beat sound. It has psych on it, 60s pop rock, and even kind of bluesy rock. The 70s stuff. Really good album. Really good comp. And it's on a label, Raven Records. This next one up is Jam It Up. And this is the Masters Apprentices. Again, it's a collection of rarities. 1965 to 1973. It's B-sides, rare, and previously unreleased. Jim Keys, the one constant member of this band, he was involved in this, and it's very nicely done. It's not as good a comp as the other one, but they do go together very well. And it's on that Raven label again, different color label. Now this next album is an album I've heard before, and I think Flipside CT showed it, and he suggested it to me. And I saw it and I picked it up. It's Left My Blues in San Francisco by Buddy Guy. This is 67, his debut album. Now, before buying this, I've heard Buddy Guy songs here and there. I've heard live. He's on that one documentary of that concert, that train that went across the Canada, and he's on there. I've seen other live clips of him, and I'm gonna say something that probably a lot of people will disagree with. I've never been the biggest fan of Buddy Guy's vocals. I think he tries too hard, not like a Howling Wolf or a Muddy Waters, it just comes out naturally. That said, I really dug this album though. Great arrangements on it. I mean, it is an original sounding album. On side 2, She Suits Me to a T. Man, what a great groove that is. Now, that said, side 1 I think is fantastic. Side 2 is not quite as good. But overall, I give it a big thumbs up. Recommended. It's a great addition to my blues collection. It's not your standard blues. Some of the songs are, but overall it's a pretty original album. and it comes on this 60's chest label. Now this last one, 13th Floor Elevators live. It's came out in '68. It's actually not a live album. It's studio outtakes with live overdubs, and that sounds pretty horrific, but it actually is a pretty good album. It's not as good as their first two albums, but it is a good album. I dig it. The only one I need now is Easter Everywhere. There was one online about 2 or 3 weeks ago. On these kind of albums, I'll put a $40 bid in, and I was outbid like 4 or 5 days before the auction ended. I mean, it ended up going for like 100 and something, you know. And I'm not gonna pay that much for a record. I have it on CD, you know. But yeah, I had never heard this album. It gets bad reviews, but I think maybe compared to their other two albums, yeah, but it's not a bad album. I recommend it. Great psych. And it's on that American International label. And that's it. All 60s, all awesome. I don't like to talk politics, you know. I really don't on this channel, and I'm not. But it seems like everything old is now considered racist by some people. I mean, today they're saying Dr. Seuss books are racist. I mean, come on. I mean, the next thing, 60s psych music's going to be racist. You know, it's really getting ridiculous. But anyways, take care, guys and gals. Peace out. Love the VC. And I'm talking shit. Oh yeah, one other thing. I thank everybody that watched that fair video. I got a new camera. iPhone 8, I guess it is. I had an iPhone 4 for years, and it wasn't going to be supported anymore, so I had to dump it. And I basically was experimenting with it at the fair, and I put a bunch of clips together to see how it would work as on a video, and it seemed like it worked pretty well. That's what I'm filming this on, so we're going to see how it works. I don't believe it's going to shut off after 12 minutes like my Canon does, but we'll see. Take care, guys and gals. Oh yeah, and one other thing. Yeah, thanks. I thank everybody that watched that video. I'll probably delete it. Juanita and Juanito are coming up from Mexico tomorrow. I'll probably show it to them on YouTube on the TV, and then I'll probably delete that one because it isn't record related. But a few people, you know, gave it some thumbs up. One person gave it a thumbs down. It's like, come on, dude, you're a dick, you know. But keep watching. You know, you can watch. You can give me thumbs down. Just keep watching. I don't mind. But come on, man. A thumbs down on the family at the fair. Get a life. Take care.